This alt.chi presentation considers how we move from the historical HCI paradigm of task-based interaction with a desktop computer to research which considers interaction with more than one device in an unconstrained entertainment setting. The particular focus of our research is on understanding how people orient their attention between the main screen and a companion device, such as a mobile phone or tablet, while they're watching television. So we know that watching TV has involved more than one screen for a while now. People use second screens or companion devices such as mobile phones or tablets for things like looking up additional content about what's on screen on the internet or using social media. Broadcasters are really keen to exploit this, so they are starting to develop companion content for what's happening on the main screen. You can see on the screen at the moment an app for a programme called Secret Fortune, which is a quiz show, and the app allows people at home to play along with people in the studio. So, this is great. Broadcasters made a start with this, but they're keen to go way beyond this and create some various kinds of content that can help to support things like dramas, documentaries, news programmes, pretty much any genre of broadcasting you can think about. The problem is, this kind of interaction is not well understood at the moment. There has been quite a lot of research in this area, but it's been mostly focusing on the social aspects of second screen or companion device use. So what kind of people use companion devices? What kind of environments do they use them in? And so on. What we don't have are models describing the cognitive and perceptual aspects of multiple device interaction. How do people split their attention between devices? Crucially, what are the factors that influence attention orientation? These things are all really crucial for understanding. This alt.chi presentation considers how we move from the historical HCI paradigm of task-based interaction with a desktop computer to research which considers interaction with more than one device in an unconstrained entertainment setting. The particular focus of our research is on understanding how people orient their attention between the main screen and a companion device, such as a mobile phone or tablet, while they're watching television. Watching television now, more often than not, involves more than one screen. People have been using second screens, such as mobile devices or tablets, for a while now, but much of this interaction has been viewer-led. So people are using their companion devices to look up additional information on the internet, or they're participating in social media. Broadcasters are really keen to exploit this situation, so they are starting to develop companion content for what's happening on the main screen. You can see on the screen at the moment a programme called Secret Fortune, which has an app that allows viewers at home to play along with people in the studio. Broadcasters want to go way beyond this though and develop companion content for dramas, documentaries, news programmes, pretty much any genre of broadcasting you can think about. The trouble is, this type of interaction is not very well understood at the moment. There has been some research into it, but most of it has been looking at the social aspects of second screen use. So what are the demographics of those people who use second screens or companion devices? What kind of environments they're using them in? So this is very useful. But what we don't have are models describing the cognitive and perceptual aspects of multiple device interaction. How do people split their attention between the devices? Crucially, what are the factors that influence attention orientation? That's what we're trying to investigate with this work. When we think about media consumption, there are two main types of interaction model. Desktop computers, surfing the web, participating in social media, maybe on a mobile device, is typically thought of as having a lean-forward model of interaction, where people are actively interacting. Newspaper, film and television are thought of as having a lean-back model, so people are passively consuming. So when you have two or more screens, you can have lean back and lean forward. So you may be passively consuming from the television, but actively interacting with your mobile device. But of course, it could be a lean back and lean back situation where you're passively consuming from two devices. Or indeed, lean forward and lean forward. So you're actively interacting with one device and you're influencing what's happening on the other. So within a TV viewing scenario, there are potentially lots of different types of interaction and lots of different types of activities going on. How should we start to investigate this situation? Well, we were working on this research with the BBC, who are the primary TV network in the UK, but also produce a lot of programmes that go out worldwide. They're really interested in this space, and they've already produced a prototype companion app for the show Autumn Watch, which is a popular nature show that goes out between September and November in the UK. Our approach was to get people to watch the programme with the app and observe what happened. Because we were interested in understanding attention orientation, we decided to track the eye movements of our participants during the study so we could work out which device they were looking at. So there were a couple of technical issues that came up straight away. The first obvious issue is, can we track eye movements reliably in this scenario? We wanted to use freestanding eye trackers as they're less intrusive than head-mounted ones, but they are essentially designed to be used one at a time with a desktop display. We used two Tobii eye trackers, one mounted below the tablet, which was fixed in a clamp so that it could be used reliably with the eye tracker, and one in front of the television. So the second issue which comes out of this is, how ecologically valid is the setup? We've set up our lab to look like a living room, but there are a couple of obvious problems with it. One is that the tablet's clamped. This may restrict the participants' willingness to interact with the tablet. And the second issue is that we are still in a lab and not in someone's home. So we checked the validity of the eye tracking data first of all, and we found it was pretty good. Good calibration, so we can see that people are fixating on faces and on the television and on text boxes, on the companion content, which is what we would expect. We also performed a painstaking video analysis. So we checked for every half-second period whether the video data, which came from a camera that was mounted above the tablet, and the eye tracking data matched in terms of whether people were looking at the tablet at that point in time. This showed that the gaze tracking was pretty accurate, apart from a few cases where the eye tracker, which was mounted onto the tablet, was occluded by the participant's hand. All in all, the data was pretty good though, so we can see that eye tracking provides a quick and accurate means of monitoring attention in this particular situation. So what about the external validity of the data? So we were concerned that the fact the tablet was mounted in a clamp would affect people's willingness to interact with it. So to check this, we ran a second experiment with another set of participants. So there were 10 participants in the first study and 11 in the second that we got data from. And we did this without any eye tracking in the second case. And the video analysis results showed that these two data sets were highly correlated, so we're reasonably confident that interaction wasn't restricted by the setup that much. So what did the split of attention look like between the two? This graph shows the percentage of participants who were looking at the TV along the top, so that's between 0 and 100, and at the tablet along the bottom. So this goes from 0 to minus 100 down the y-axis, but the more negative the number, the more people were looking at the tablet, in 5-second intervals. One of the things that we can see is that updates on the tablet, which are indicated by the thick black lines along the bottom of the graph, drew participants' attention. So we can see an increase every time we have an update. So people see this in their peripheral vision. There were, of course, other factors that drew attention too. So here is a quick example of one of them. So we can see an update on the tablet at the bottom, which says where to see a dolphin. So people start to look at that when that appears. And then on the TV, there's a sort of quite dramatic event, and the TV presenter suddenly sees a dolphin and shouts, "Oh, there, there, there." And we can see that this really very rapidly attracts people's attention back to the television again. So let's take a look at that. So this is a video of the results. So you'll be able to see the TV, which is the main part of the screen, and the tablets down at the bottom right. And each different colour shows the eye movements of a particular participant. So watch out for the presenter shouting and people's attention suddenly being attracted to the screen.
Fantastic. You might come in and just ride with us. What about? Where is he? Oh yeah, there! Right beside us. Wonderful. Oh, he's coming underneath us right here. I can just see him underneath the water. Right in front, yes! Wow. Steve, why do they do it? Does anyone know why
No, they actually bow ride in front of whales.
In front of whales?
Yes. And it's the pressure wave that a big thing going through. Whoa, up ahead.
Oh, look at that!
And it's the.
So I don't know whether anyone spotted towards the end there, but we also saw that when the presenters were talking to each other, the attention started to drift back to the tablet again, and then when we saw the dolphin, it suddenly went back to the TV. So lots of interesting stuff going on there. Okay, so what are the challenges that are remaining with this research? Well, there are plenty of them. We're at quite an early stage. Eye tracking, we can see, is accurate. So this is a good way of monitoring attention, but it's only suitable for the lab. So one of the things that we're working on at the moment is investigating how we can log interaction data on the device so that we can use this instead for understanding what people are doing. Actually, we've found that there is a reasonable correlation between touches on the tablet and attention on the tablet, which is what you might expect. Of course, this isn't going to be perfect, so we need to think about other ways of monitoring attention, using potentially things like onboard cameras or web cameras mounted on the TV. When it comes to understanding which factors are important, there are many things to consider. So we need to think about what kind of interaction's going on, what's the content of the television programme. We can see from that video there that what's happening on the main screen is very important. So how do we start to understand those factors? How do we categorise them? And of course the environment that people are using second screens in is going to be really, really important as well. So people are in their home environment, they're going to be talking to other people, they're going to be switching between channels, all sorts of stuff going on. So we need to get an understanding of that too. And of course, one of the final issues is if we can effectively monitor these in the wild, then there are all sorts of privacy issues that come up as well. So to what extent can we really monitor and model somebody's interaction with television in a home environment without starting to unreasonably invade privacy? And I think that's always going to be a challenge for this kind of study. So I've talked a lot about our method, and you'll notice that I haven't talked at all about how we start to pull out the factors that are important and how we start to model them. And of course, this is something we're working on. So if you're interested in learning more of that, you should come to our talk tomorrow that's in the Interacting with the Web session, predicting whether users view updating content on the World Wide Web and beyond. That's the session tomorrow. And of course, you can find out more on the web as well. So please do get in touch with me if you want to know more about our work or visit our website.